Rounds of strong and maybe severe thunderstorms getting ready to develop across parts of the region. We'll track those into the start of the upcoming weekend just ahead.
He was shot while doing mission work in Haiti. Now a Kentucky pastor is back and talking about the experience.
And the NBA draft is tonight, and 7 ex-Cats hope to hear their names called. We'll take you to New York for all the action.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Jennifer has the afternoon off. Take a look. This is a live picture of downtown Lexington, where we are seeing some humidity out there, and that is setting the scene for a growing threat of severe storms this evening and into our overnight. And some of those storms have the possibility of being severe, which is why we have declared today a First Alert Severe Weather Day. We go right to Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey so he can let us know what to expect. Sounds like an interesting night, possibly.
Yeah, late this evening into the overnight hours would be the primary time frame as it stands now. We keep pushing that severe weather threat a little deeper into the evening. Right now, really nothing going on across central and eastern Kentucky, though in Lexington, temperatures held in check today because of a lot of clouds from those showers and storms from a little earlier in the day. It is 85 degrees. Humidity has been a little slow to respond as well. Got a gusty wind kind of stirring things up. We're cooler the farther north that we go. 85 Lexington, 88 into Richmond and Point South, where you missed out on the showers and storms. Now the real heat today is out across western Kentucky, where heat index values are greater than 100 degrees. We look at live First Alert Defender. I got nothing to show you across central or eastern Kentucky. Had a cluster of thunderstorms a little earlier. Very photogenic cluster of thunderstorms, by the way, into parts of central Kentucky. We're going to keep an eye across southern parts of Illinois, Indiana, north central Kentucky. That would be the favored corridor to get some of those thunderstorms to crank later this evening into the overnight. But as of now, not a whole lot is out there. So over the next couple of hours, go about your business. Shouldn't be a big deal. We watch that severe weather threat late evening into the overnight. Next round will then gather steam and arrive on the scene later Friday. That too, Amber, will bring a severe weather threat with some heavier rains that will slowly push out of town on Saturday. And then we go towards some cooler air. When I come back in a little bit, we're going to walk you through the upcoming weekend that looks interesting on the hour-by-hour forecast.
All right, Chris, we appreciate it. Thank you. An Estill County pastor shot while on a mission trip to Haiti is back here in Kentucky. Bill Wesley arrived at Bluegrass Airport late this morning. He suffered a wound to the leg when the gunman fired at the car he was riding in. WKYT's Victor Puente was at the airport as Wesley arrived home. It's our top story at 4.
Bill Wesley's friends and family were waiting here at the airport for his return earlier today. They took him from here to the hospital so he could be treated for a gunshot wound. Wesley, his daughter Kayla, and a family friend went to Haiti last week to deliver shoes and toys and to help build swing sets for the children there. Tuesday night, the three were returning from a church service when the group they were with came under attack. Wesley, a Haitian pastor, and that pastor's 2 daughters were shot. All 4 survived. A woman in the car behind them was kidnapped but was later released. At first, Wesley thought that bullet was still in his leg, but his secretary says that was a misunderstanding with Haitian doctors, that the bullet actually passed through his leg. The 3 missionaries made it to Miami last night and just got into Lexington around 11 this morning. When he got off the plane, Wesley refused a wheelchair and said he hopes this incident doesn't deter others from helping the people of Haiti.
It was just so good to go and to see the good that you've done. So we're not going to let this dishearten, what we did do.
Wesley was taken to a VA hospital because he served as a Marine. He told us once he recovers, he eventually plans to return to Haiti. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The woman who helped organize that mission trip to Haiti told us today that she believes those shooters were targeting her Haitian pastor because the land the church is on is quite valuable. The debate over a statue in the state capitol is continuing this afternoon. The Historic Properties Advisory Commission will discuss whether to remove the Jefferson Davis statue in the Capitol Rotunda. It's been there since 1936. The commission changed their agenda after the governor asked the panel to consider moving the statue. Many many have called for its removal, saying it is better suited for a museum such as the Kentucky History Center. Well, after months of waiting, the NBA Draft Day is finally here, and the Big Blue Nation is hoping to hear the names of 7 former Cats called tonight. Our Brian Milam is in the Big Apple, where all the draft action is happening.
Good afternoon from Times Square. Tonight, the NBA Draft, and we will know where everybody will be drafted at some point. Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Trey Lyles, and Devin Booker all considered lottery picks. Now, last week, for the first time since the end of the season, we heard some bad news. Willie Cauley-Stein, well, that ankle that he had that stress fracture in last season, that was brought into question by DraftExpress.com, saying some teams were a little wary of drafting him. He addressed that situation yesterday.
It's politics. People are going to put the stories out there, but I don't know. I don't feel any pain. My game didn't look hindered at all. I increased my vertical by 5 inches. Like, I'm putting my chin on the rim, so I don't think anything's wrong with it. A lot of it's just talk.
You know the story since John Calipari first came to Kentucky, 19 draft picks in the NBA. We'll find out how he adds to that resume tonight. Reporting from Times Square, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
Brian, thank you, and we will keep you up to date on all that is happening with the draft. You can follow WKYT NBA Draft on Twitter for all the latest with the Cats. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Hey, Amber. A driver is charged with murder after a deadly motorcycle crash in Owsley County. State police say that 49-year-old Jesse Bennett was drunk when he crashed into a motorcycle last night on Kentucky 11, just outside of Boonville. State police say a 24-year-old man was driving the motorcycle and had a 19-year-old female passenger. Both of them were flown to UK hospital in critical condition. The 19-year-old later died. We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. A Central Kentucky family lost their home to a fire. It happened about 9 this morning on South Lucas Street in Junction City in Boyle County. We talked to the woman who lives in the home. She says her dog woke her up, and she credits the dog with saving her life.
Hank woke me up, an alarm, and I kept going, "Get down, turn that off," and thank God he did, because I wouldn't be here. I probably had about 30 seconds to make it out.
Firefighters say they don't think there's anything suspicious about the fire. The homeowner says fortunately they do have insurance. A street in downtown Lexington is getting a pedestrian-friendly makeover in preparation for this fall's Breeders' Cup. The changes on Short Street will be temporary, but could become permanent if the pilot project is successful. Sidewalks will be extended, planters and benches added, and decorative fencing to cover up trash cans and dumpsters. Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30, we'll tell you how much money has been given to the project and how parking will be changing on Short Street. And that's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Another big victory in the Supreme Court for President Barack Obama's health care law. In a 6-3 ruling today, the justices upheld the nationwide tax subsidies that help make insurance affordable for millions of Americans. Nationally, 10.2 million people have signed up for health insurance under the Obama health overhaul. That includes the 8.7 million people who are receiving an average subsidy of $272 a month to help pay their insurance premiums. A show of unity at a South Carolina church rocked by a deadly shooting. Bible study resumed at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston today, 1 week after a lone gunman opened fire, killing 9 people. The church's interim pastor led the study with a message about the power of love. The first funeral for the victims were today. The body of the pastor, State Senator Clementa Pinckney, is lying at the state capitol. President Obama will deliver his eulogy tomorrow. A New York State prison guard who is charged in connection with the escape of 2 murders says he allowed one of the convicts to have access to an interior catwalk that the convicts later used to make their breakout. Gene Palmer also says he gave them tools that one of the men used to alter electrical boxes with circuits to the prisoners' cells. He says he did the inmates a favor in return for paintings by one of them and information on illegal activity by other inmates. Well, this worry keeps more than 60% of Americans up at night. What it is coming up in WKYT's Money Watch. Plus, the crazy things that workers would find less painful than asking for their boss for a raise. That's ahead. WKYT News at 4.